Expire. Got pennies for gas fees, got a mint more than the guy next to me. Okay, I over-sacrificed, don't make fun of me. You've been shunning me, I need a Xen economy, lumbotomy. Lord, I can see. Listen to the head vampire, don't let your mints expire. Got pennies for gas fees, got a mint more than the guy next to me. Okay, I over-sacrificed, don't make fun of me. You've been shunning me, I need a Xen economy, lumbotomy. Lord, I can see. 100 VMUs is a walk in the park. Blockchain's the canvas and Xen is art. Should have been knitting right from the start. Lord, I wish I never heard of Richard Hart. 100 VMUs is a walk in the park. Blockchain's the canvas and Xen is art. Should have been knitting right from the start. Lord, I wish I never heard of Richard Hart. Listen to the head vampire, don't let your stakes expire. I got pennies for gas fees, got a stake more than the guy next to me. Okay, I underminted, don't make fun of me. I've been struggling, I need a Xen economy, lumbotomy, and Lord, I am free. Listen to the head vampire, don't let your stakes expire.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Crypto Kindness channel. I got this cool little Xen video kicking it right now. And we're about to bounce this out real quick and get the crew in. I'm super excited to be introducing the first and I guess not first and foremost, but the first, I guess, ever Xen panel discussion amongst the Xen streamers. And we got a great crowd here today. So I'm going to bring them in one by one. But first, I'm going to add the Joker to the stream today. And this was his idea to do a panel. And he allowed me to host it on my channel first. So Joker, thank you for being here.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, the whole point about it and the whole reasoning behind this kind of panel discussion is because ultimately speaking, when you have a bunch of streamers that are working in parallel, you know, we have communities kind of dispersed around in YouTube and whatnot. But when you start seeing the minds of the streamers and the people that you watch kind of come together and coagulate, so to speak, you know, it becomes a force, right? And it becomes an example for everyone to kind of follow, right? And I want to see more and more of this. And when you do stuff like this, like, again, the audiences will start forming all over and you'll start seeing more and more new Xenians come out.
That's right. And speaking of bringing people together, I was just going to bring Jimrat in, but he stepped away. But like, this is the power of Xen. You two used to be at each other's throat. And now look, we're right here on the same channel and we're going to be on the same team. And we're talking about how can we grow the community and make Xen strong. This is awesome. GRC, never had the opportunity to have you on the channel. Thank you for being here, my friend.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having me. It's nice that someone wants me around.
We all want you around. We all want you around.
It's nice that somebody wants both of us around. Like it's too funny, man. And you know what's cool about this whole situation? You know, Jimrat and I, sure, we've had very colorful words against each other, and sure, that's just, you know, bear market blues and the internet and all this craziness. But I'll tell you what, the fact that Xen brought Jimrat and myself back as a unit here, it speaks volumes about this community and again, the professionalism and the maturity amongst all of us. You know, all it took was Jimrat and I to speak in a Twitter space where everyone's like, guys, come on, you know, like, why are you guys even fighting? And we kind of like looked at each other in a Twitter space and we're just like, huh, you're right. What was the point of that?
It's stupid. It's Xen. Yeah. So we also got on today's stream, we got Crypto Profeta, a multi-returning guest to the show, and also really excited to bring a new guest to this show. We got CryptoBruhh here. How we doing?
Uh-oh, I'm doing good. I just want to show you guys my little Xen dude.
NFTs coming earlier.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Always.
Nice. And last but not least, the reason why we're all here, the man behind the ecosystem, Mr. Jack Levin.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
This is awesome. I like it. All right. So rules of engagement today. We're going to be kind. We're going to be open-minded. And we're going to be respectful of each other. Of course, we're all on the same team. We're going to answer questions for the community. Most importantly, though, we're going to have some fun. And we're going to make this Xen ecosystem fun through collaboration, through helping others, and just through being good people. So welcome to the first streamers panel. Jack Levin, thank you for this community that you are building, have built, and we will watch continue to grow. So I'm just going to throw out this question real quick. Who's got something exciting they want to talk about? I think Jack, you mentioned something about a what was it, a X1 DevNet? What is that all about?
I'm too excited. Too excited. So
well, tell your face. You got to smile when you say that.
yeah.
The show is fangs. Be careful.
So we set up our X1 DevNet over the weekend, the last weekend, and I thought, well, February 1st would be like a good time to launch. And then like it worked so well and so good, we're like, okay, let's just launch it. And so we launched it yesterday, and we put Xen and XeNFTs on it so that Xenians can stress test it. And Xenians came hard. So we did the airdrops. We did the airdrops for XeNFTs. Yeah, pause. And what happened is the load on the chain was amazing in a good way. Like there was so much activity, more than 500,000 wallets participated in minting G rank or C rank. Lots of NFTs being minted as we speak. People are just excited to test it out, even with the money that like isn't worth anything. So Xen is the native token or a coin of X1 chain has been airdropped. It shows up in your wallet if you mint it as NFT. And now you can go to our Xen.network web app, switch to X1, and then play with the mints, play with NFTs. And it was just incredible, like how many people actually went ahead and minted so much stuff. I didn't think anybody would come actually. But in terms of a launch of a testnet, that isn't even real. I think our testnet have gotten more users than any testnet ever launched.
Wow.
So, which is just crazy. I mean, just looking at the load and looking at the action and how much Xen, or rather Xen, people have burned in gas just to generate XeNFTs and play around with them is just incredible. So I'm very thankful.
Have any of you guys? Yeah. Have any of you guys played with it or anything like that? That's what I say. Go ahead, CryptoBruhh.
Well, yeah, I was on it last night. I minted 50 XeNFTs.
Oh, that was you.
Dude, I was running it up. I was stress testing it for sure. I was like, can I break this? Like, I got to a point where the UI was slower than the blockchain. It was like messing me up. I had to figure out some sort of process to get past a little bit of seconds. But yeah. So since you said that about the DevNet, would that mean that that new coin Aptos that we just like blew their DevNet out of the water?
Aptos. So is that the one that raised all the money in the world? Didn't raise the $1 billion?
500 million. No, 500 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but I tried to do some research on other blockchains that have done what X1 has done, and I noticed that they did a DevNet testnet mainnet.
I actually did not know that they have done that. So I thought DevNet was my idea, but okay.
I had to go dig it, man.
They did a testnet and then a DevNet, and then everyone that interacted just on the DevNet got an airdrop, so for free. So people will like go in, test the chain, look how it works, do some NFTs, and then I think it was 6 months later they just drop the drop the airdrop first. So everybody went out to sell everything. And then those who are like interacted with the build a validator and stuff like that, set up a validator, got approximately like 300 extra. So it'll be like 700, 800 for everyone that made it, an interaction. So everybody sell out, and then now it's doing all-time high back again. So
yeah.
So everybody, Aptos is pretty cool. Obviously, the guys know what they're doing. They did raise way too much money. Nobody needs that much money. I smell some sort of price manipulation. When you raise that much money, you have the financial lever to skew the organic valuation of whatever that you're doing. The other thing that's interesting. So they're not using Solidity. They're using this language called Move. and it's very closely related, I think, to Solana. That's kind of like not really great in my opinion, because I think Solidity is just has a vibrant ecosystem. It will be hard to learn Move for others because it's a new language. In terms of their technology, that's what I'm really interested about. So they have this thing called Block STM, and Block STM is a method where you can run transactions in parallel, and it makes your chain so much faster. But specifically on a blockchain, when you send a transaction with either storage of data or high compute, every node that participates have to actually execute the same transaction. So you have duplication of resources used, and the more nodes you have, the more I guess it's not really spam, but that's how blockchain secures itself. Every node creates consensus by executing the same code. So Block STM optimizes that, where you can actually run things in parallel, and you have to wait for nodes to co-execute with you. So that what makes it so fast. So what's really cool about that is that Polygon team looked at their technology and implemented Block STM into Polygon. So Polygon will be even faster, and of course it's EVM compatible. So I'm glad that those guys came up with this amazing idea that really worked, and Polygon team just implemented it. So it's going to be a patched Polygon that's going to go live at some point.
Wow. I don't even know what you said.
Well, I mean,
those of you that do break it down.
The thing is recorded.
Yeah, I brought that up because I was on that DevNet going crazy, and I was wondering what it would be like on other, like, because she brought up the stat about all the launches, or Ethereum launch testnet kind of idea. So are we like right there with the rest of cryptocurrency? That's kind of how I'm feeling. Like, are we right in that benchmark area where everybody else is?
In terms of X1.
Yeah, in terms of X1's like day one, like
So
Genesis 0, boom, out the gate.
So we're twice as fast as Polygon right now, because our block times are 1 second per block and not 2 seconds per block. So technically, the block size is the same, so you can stuff the same amount of transactions into a block, which is about 1,400. But because blocks are generated quicker, it's actually yields twice as the speed twice as fast. And that's we have tested it really well, because Polygon, what's amazing about that tech, it comes with its own load tester. We actually did not need to come up with a way to stress test the chain. We just used their load tester and just squeezed the living lights out of the whole infrastructure. And we're like, okay, well, it ran at capacity for a whole 24 hours, which means we can go live. So other chains don't present that sort of tooling. So that allows us to gain confidence, tune our hardware, set up the cloud just appropriately, and just release faster.
Nice.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just shared in a private chat, I shared the link if anybody wants to, CryptoKinez, if you want to bring it up, and we can go very, very briefly over it, but I just want people to see what we're talking about. And I can tweet that link. This is very interesting when it comes to Polygon parallelization. And
I'm working on it.
So this mean that we will be seeing also a lot of Polygon projects moving over to X1. It will be possible, right?
It's certainly possible. You can move from any chain.
Are we seeing this?
So guys, yeah, we see it. So guys, check this out. So in innovating the main chain, the Polygon proof of stake study in parallelization. So here, and by the way, this is December 1st, 2022. So there's plenty of work on this already been done. I mean, I guess it's just been a month or so. So it's pretty fresh out of the gate. But if you scroll down, so you can say that, there's this thing they call about parallel EVM. So parallel EVM, and there's a nice chart just below so people can take a look at it. So check this out. You see how the serial execution and parallel execution works? Where the transactions come and they run in parallel, where on Ethereum, transactions go one by one by one by one. So you have to wait for, no matter how fast or slow your transaction is, you have to wait in line. That's what makes Ethereum so expensive, because everybody's waiting, where the Polygon EVM can actually run it in parallel. And you can see they're all coming in on the same line, like, so to speak.
So in terms of coding language there, Jack, Polygon coding is obviously a different kind of code than Ethereum, right?
No, it's the same.
It's the exact same?
Exact same.
Okay, so what would make a Polygon developer more inclined to build on X1 opposed to an Ethereum developer to build on X1?
So
if any?
I would say it's exactly the same reason. So Polygon is pretty fast. The only thing is, like, nobody's getting airdrops for Matic. So Matic is the gas token for Polygon. So Xen is the gas token that is getting airdropped to everybody who minted XeNFTs. So that's important. So from the economic perspective, it actually makes sense to be on X1, because we're going to be rewarding developers to build. So we will set up a treasury that will allow you to get paid in Xen if you develop amazing projects.
How does that work?
It's just like this. So, like, 1 billion Xen coins is allocated. And then we will say that 15% or 20% of that will go towards developers. So the developers will bring their projects, and we will issue grants in the native coin so that they can get the benefit of bringing something amazing to the chain. So we can do that. Polygon will not do that for you. But everybody who wants to build amazing stuff will actually participate in the economic positive outcome of your own project, and you get a grant.
Nice.
At what point does Ethereum take a hit because of any of this? I'm not talking about X1 in particular, but okay, we're talking about 13 EVM chains. Now we're relying on EVM, right? Now we're saying Ethereum's the future. Ethereum proof of stake is what, or can it separate completely if Ethereum, I'm talking long-term here,
So
is not where people want to go?
So Ethereum is like a B-52 bomber that's flying, and the team is trying to build another B-52 bomber on top of it and change its engine and change its oil. So obviously, it's tough time to manage and to work on something that's in flight and has so much money as a TVL, right? So TVL there is in billions, like 80-something billion, maybe more. There's a list. Polygon is tiny compared to it. It's like maybe 5% of that. So Ethereum is definitely this like mega daddy, like a Swiss bank of liquidity. It's very, very slow, and it's hard to optimize because people who are working on it don't want everybody to lose their money to a bug. Where these sort of all of the side chains are taking advantage of that fact that Ethereum is so slow to develop. And they're presenting new amazing technologies that actually can tap into the ecosystem that's been developed on Ethereum. Now, let me tell you this, though, is that we're moving into the world where all of the chains are connected. So I looked in depth into how layer 0 is done. And layer 0 is this connector between all the chains. So you should be able to, for example, mint some sort of digital asset, let's say as NFT on X1, and then settle financially on Ethereum. So literally execute a transaction to swap, whether it's a buy or a sell or just liquidity providing across chains. So that's really cool. So I think the chains ultimately will merge, and the winners will be the chains who have the best technology and the best economy.
Now, if Ethereum proof of stake for some reason, you know, I bring up all the time that Ethereum proof of stake is extremely centralized, and it's almost, to me, a step in the wrong direction, but I don't know, you know, I'm not going to go ahead and say any, that's just what it feels like to me. Do you have any concerns about the centralization of Ethereum proof of stake moving forward? And can that be delegated separately, kind of differently when you're forking an EVM chain and kind of changing the dynamics with the same code-ish?
So the only really possible way for this to be more decentralized is economically, not on the technical side. Because think about it, Ethereum doesn't upgrade, changes the code. It's the Ethereum team that's making the changes. So now let's say that there's a bug they need to fix. They also are acting as a central authority on making things better. Now, when it comes to financial decentralization, it's obviously important to note that there's many stable coins live on Ethereum that actually have a lot of billions of dollars in there. So they're kind of like a board of directors. They have this board of directors presence where they say, hey, Ethereum, you better not screw up, because otherwise we're just going to leave. So they have this sort of mandate to maintain everybody's value and not to mess things up, and not to, well, they can't run away with anybody's money, because it's kind of impossible. We know who those guys are and where they live. So when it comes to technology itself cannot really be decentralized unless it's Bitcoin. Now, with Bitcoin, there is an argument that if you have a lot of money and you buy a lot of ASICs, then you're kind of skewing the reality of control towards you. But then somebody else could do the same. So it's kind of like an equal playing field. The problem with Bitcoin is that nobody's really developing anything amazing like what Ethereum and EVMs are doing. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about the technological centralization. I would worry when things are really economically centralized. So Aptos, for example, they raised all that money. Now they have their own TVL of 500 million, and nobody else has any sort of say in terms of what will happen to the protocols. So you see what I mean, right? So somebody has to bring billions of dollars to vote with those dollars on Aptos to make it economically decentralized.
And they have no users.
Exactly.
That's why I wanted to ask that question.
They have the dollars, just not the users.
Yeah. Just want to point out we're up to 302 people in chat, which is fantastic. A lot of these folks are coming in as all of y'all followers. If y'all can help me out with the questions in the comments and chat, just so that way I'm not missing anything. Also, if if you're here, consider retweeting this out, giving it a like, so that way we can get more people in here, more questions. The more we educate, the better. Have been blessed so far with a few super chats. Wake Dog gives a $10 super chat. Thank you for your generosity. Quick question here. Jack, he is asking about apparently there's 14 XeNFTs with 130 VMUs on OpenSea. Thought the cap was 128. He's curious about that. Interestingly enough, while we were chatting there, I brought these up on OpenSea to take a look at, and they do exist. I'll show you.
Yeah, that is interesting, actually.
Yeah, so let's. I've got it right here, and can y'all see this?
Yep.
130 VMUs.
So
There's
I think
14
someone wrote their own web app front end, and they tweaked the numbers. So technically, you can go higher, but if you go too high, the blockchain will reject you.
Gotcha. So somebody might have done this on their own, but what you guys put out there at 128 was kind of a safety mechanism. Do I hear that correctly?
That's right. 128 was a safety mechanism.
Most interesting.
Yeah. Technically, you can go maybe up to 150, and then you will run out of block space. You're also running a risk of validators not validating your transaction in the block just because you're taking the whole block.
Gotcha.
So you may end up either stuck or losing your gas money potentially if you go way too high.
Another super sticker came in from Dr. Vray. Thank you for the generosity. Appreciate that. Joker, when I came on your stream the other day, I asked a lot of questions, and I think I interrupted some of yours. So I want to give you first ground here to ask questions to Jack, maybe anything that came from the community, maybe anything that's popped up since the DevNet came out. And then everybody just let's pepper him. That's the whole idea here. Let's pepper him and have some fun.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I guess a lot of questions came up about the VCs. Again, we've answered a lot of those questions, and I know Jack is probably a little tired of answering questions about the VCs. So I'll allow anybody else to go ahead and come up while I kind of get my bearings.
I did a stream on Friday with Jack, and I asked like a lightning round series of questions about the VCs. I'm going to clip that and post that on my YouTube as a separate video so people can watch just that small, like 4-minute segment. I plan to do that either tomorrow or Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, it is something that seems to have a lot of people concerned, interestingly enough. Like CryptoBruhh, I'd love to know your thoughts. Like, you've been around for a long time. What are your concerns, if any, or thoughts on the whole VC idea?
Actually, we had a talk in the X1 group about the same thing. People were very worried about VCs and stuff like that. And I will explain to them that um, it's important now in this time to get some VC on the board, right? Why? Because we will be having a lot of developer developing stuff on the chain. So to support those developers, right? It's not like Jack has that amount of money, to pay all the developers, right? I don't know. Just saying. So
Hey, where's my money printer? Where's my money printer?
so yeah, so we need to have those VCs in place to support, right? Support the chain, support those developer that comes in and help, right? And building an infrastructure that for a better future. Because the main thing we see on the white paper is that we are trying to bring the token to everyone around the world, right? So to bring this all around the world, we need some VC that have the power to help um, give to the developers so they can start building, right? So I think is one of the main thing that I've been seeing around going from the last bull market and the bull market before that, 2014, 2017, and 2021. We have been seeing the same thing go over and over again, right? We see some venture capitals coming in, helping development and growing. Like the same thing we can see on Aave. Aave had a lot of a VC coming in and giving them, support so they can build up at their infrastructure on the Polygon network, right? So we see also on Ethereum network, we can see a lot of like AC16. They are very big in the business, talking about helping development and doing research for the chains and stuff like that. So for me, right, I can see a lot of people are very scared, and they're very thinking about, okay, yeah, why we need the VCs, because they are thinking from the investor perspective. But when you are thinking about from the no, sorry, they are thinking all these type of investors, they are thinking about, I put in $100 and I will expect in the next bull market to hit like 1 million, right? So they are coming in with this vision, right? So, but to make that happen, you need people with more money than what you have, right? So then they can start building stuff to help the ecosystem to grow. And this is the main reason why we need some VCs. And they also play a very big role within a very different type of infrastructure, because they have the network that a lot of us doesn't have, right? So when you bring in some VCs that had different type of network that build on, let's say, marketing, or they're building in different type of infrastructure or financial structure, you will start seeing different type of stuff happening, because of they have already that infrastructure already built, right? So maybe we can see, maybe in the future, Amazon want to jump in. Maybe we can see Google want to jump in, or different type of entities want to work to make this infrastructure much better than what we have already around, right? That's my thought. I don't know about
CryptoBruhh, anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with you, Profeta. I feel like myself working in Fortune 500 tech companies, that they do need some sort of way into the space. And the way that the whole FTX debacle happened, there are going to be new players in the game that are going to want something else, because we already see that people are attempting to bring outside liquidity into the crypto sphere, but there's still that friction of how they can truthfully get in. So even me being super decentralized until I die, I understand where we stand in the sand with the VCs, right? Like MTV wants to bring MTV Cribs back, and now they got too much friction to get onto the blockchain because of all the risk. So I think it's cool to have a good risk filter with the VCs and stuff.
Joker, you and I did our stream with Jack. I should say you did a stream with Jack where you invited me. Thank you. And it was right around the VC launch, or the announcement, and you had some questions. Have you heard anything from your followers? Any follow-ups on the concerns around VC that you want to ask here, or GRC also? Anything?
I mean,
any concerns you heard?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, it's always a concern for VCs, right? I mean, we already know like the FUD surrounding VCs. So, and we asked all the questions really that was concerning that. But I mean, in terms of how VCs usually like to take control of projects, right? I mean, they like to, hey, we'll go ahead and make sure we'll fund you, but we want you to be more this way. I mean, I guess that's the general kind of concern. They don't want the VCs to have that kind of control where, it's leaning more in the direction of what they want to post to the community or what Jack wants.
Yeah. GRC?
Well, I think hold on, let me make sure I'm being nice. I think everyone's a bit LARPing with acting like they even know what's going on. So I really don't feel like anyone truly, I'm not saying anyone up here in particular, I'm just saying in general, the minute people bring up VCs is because they want to type something on Twitter. And I'm not saying it's because VCs are good or bad. I'm not one to really bring up things that I don't understand unless I'm asking someone smarter than me a question. So in general, I'm going to go ahead and kind of call everyone's bluff, and nobody really knows what's going on. Jack probably does, but a lot of us don't. And I think I try to kind of put pressure on a lot of guys to study hard. So I like to remind everyone and myself, like, if you don't know what's going on, don't be the mouthpiece for whatever FUD is going on. And I don't know a lot about VCs, but I know they have more money than me. But why do people have more money? Right? Because they're used to buying shit and not dealing with it anymore. And they're used to holding. And I'm not, everyone's like, oh, VCs are here to make $1 in 2 days. I'm like, I don't think that's how rich people work.
I mean, that's a really good point. Yeah.
I think rich people hold things for years, and then downstream there could be problems with that. But in the end of the day, if you bought Solana, you're the richest man I know at the right time, right? Like Solana did more pumping than I have ever seen anything do in my life. Like, so I think that there's benefits and cons, but you have to ask, why am I asking these questions? Why do I care? And if it's about centralization, if it's about someone dumping on your head, most people just don't want to get rugged.
Yeah.
If we're being 100% honest, everyone who comes into crypto gets rugged. Either if it's their seed phrase, they click on a bad link, something happens once. And people like get scared. I lost $45,000 from clicking on something that I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't complain about it. I just went to bed and then I just started over again. And that's probably why I'm here today. So maybe I'm grateful for that.
Right.
Did you cry overnight?
No, I went to bed. Something about devastating loss like makes me very motivated. It's probably all those hot girls that dumped me in the past. Like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm gonna hit the weights so fucking hard. It's like the same thing. This channel would have not been created, or my channel would have not been created, if I didn't have someone smack me in the face and say, "You need to wake up, kid."
Yeah.
Self-custody. You are your own bank. You are your own stuff now. I never had to deal with that before. And then I doubled down in learning. But a lot of people go the other way and they just don't come in anymore. And I try to be a voice for the guys that, because I know everyone in here, at least, I would say definitely everyone in here has gotten rugged or lost a seed phrase or something has occurred where they lost some funds. And it is hard and it is a real shot to the stomach. And I want to see if we can get to a place. Somebody was talking to me about electricity, the light switch. They're like, 100 years ago, people would die for working on a light switch. There weren't grounds. There weren't anything. That doesn't mean we're not going to use the light switch in 100 years. Technology moves forward and adoption comes and things, work out a little better. But I'm just trying to see if this is, EVM, proof of stake, all these things are the future. And I don't really like to pretend like I understand what's going on for like the trigger factor of the Twitter.
Gotcha. I like what you said there about the, like, are people genuinely concerned about this, or are they just regurgitating something they saw? Like, oh God, this guy's upset about VC, so I need to be, and I'm going to, carry the torch. But the Solana example is perfect because when Solana first launched, I mean, there was a significant window of time when you could get into Solana when it was at $4 million market cap. And those people that were buying then weren't really worried about the VCs. It only became a big issue once it hit $250 per Solana, which was however many billion of market cap. And all those people had already become very, very wealthy. So honestly, like, get in early. That's, Richard Hart says, get in early or be a developer. Well, the 5 of us are early and he's the developer. So if you're listening today, you're in early. Congratulations.
Yes.
Can I piggyback off the Solana topic?
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to go to like a Solana Well event at like the NFT NYC last year, right? And the way that Solana lays out its connection to agencies and industry people is what their superpower is in cryptocurrency, because since they have all of that VC funding and whatnot, they were able to, like the event I went to, they had like Just Blaze as a DJ and like Diplo. And like
Wow.
I feel like at a crypto event where it's about selling JPEGs, if you have that type of element in a marketing atmosphere, you know, there's a lot bigger things going on, but those things could only be brought to life if there was money behind them. And that's like kind of why for me, when it comes to the VCs in crypto, I think it's good for us creators, because it gives us that outlet to build versus us starting from the ground and having to put together that picnic so everybody can show up. So
Facts, bro.
That's a really good way to look at it.
Preach.
yeah, I actually wore
Can
this thing in the back. That's like my little NFT. I like made it for that event because I was like, I'm gonna rock my NFT physically to like bring crypto to life amongst all these VC people. And it was a fun event though, and I enjoyed myself. I got to see like Diplo like right here, and if it wasn't for all of the things that came together, that event would have never happened. So that's one positive of the VCs.
Can I interject?
Please.
All right. So, in terms of the VCs and what Jim was just saying, you know, people like to beat on the same drum, right? And that's what crypto Twitter has kind of just turned into. It's like, hey, one person or one group of people that are the popular kids in school, they come out and they just start saying one thing, and they're like, you know, oh, this is the new thing to say for me to get likes and be popular, and that's literally why they do it. And they echo it, and everybody gets the likes, and everyone's like, oh, this person's saying it now, like that. That person's saying it now, like that. And of course, it builds from the narrative of people who just generally want to FUD the project because either A, they don't like the project because they're maxi in another project, or B, they're just salty about whatever happened in, say, Xen, right? So there's that. And I have to 100% vibe with that. And that's what, crypto Twitter has become. People just don't understand why they're saying it. They're just regurgitating information, such as, you know, someone is always right, like that. That's the popular thing in some ways. But anyway,
like the ETH validators can mint Xen for free. That was
right.
Like
it's the popular thing to say, and it's annoying because it's like they don't know what they're saying, but they're just saying it. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is a little off topic, which CryptoBruhh he just said about events. There's an event coming up for Xenians, so I'm sure you guys, if you're on Twitter, you've seen it. If not, then please go ahead and look for it. In New York, there's going to be an event where a lot of the Xenians are going to come together. Do you have the link? Does anyone have the link where we can put in?
It's actually on my birthday.
Oh, well, in that case.
So I might take a little roll with the Honda up there.
Dude, you should.
Nice.
I'm planning on being out there too. We could see each other.
Oh, are you really? Okay. I saw, isn't it Prism? I don't know who it is on her Twitter handle.
Prism Phoenix.
Yeah, Prism Phoenix is putting that together.
Please.
Yeah. I was going to say that real quick. There's a one going to be at 12 with me and a couple other people getting coffee at a Web3 event. So definitely look out for more, because I can't go to the 7 p.m. meetup. So we're going to do a coffee event at 12 p.m.
Cool.
Perfect. Well, I mean, the whole day is going to be full of
I like a coffee meetup. Meetup. That's my speed.
So if we could take a quick break for what do they call to recognize our sponsors. We've got a couple of very generous super chats that have come in, so I want to make sure we thank these people as well as get their questions answered. So the first one came in. Jack, any plans to combine AI and X1 in future development?
Anything's possible. And obviously, I think my dream is that most of the stuff developed is going to be by others, not necessarily my team. We're here to provide the possibility of creation with the best technology possible. And if people have amazing ideas that have a product market fit for everyone else, then everyone's welcome to dream up and come up with incredible things.
Awesome. Thank you for the generous super chat there, CN. Jay-Z Hexing in the house. What's going on?
Yep.
Very generous. Thank you. I appreciate that. When minting a XeNFT on X1, is the token reward of Xen or wrapped Xen? What are we calling it? That's a good question.
So right now, even though XeNFTs are on X1 DevNet, it's there for testing. We actually do not plan to have the Xen in its original form on X1 because we want other chains to continue to mint. We don't want to suck up all the momentum from every other chain, or at least not yet. And so it's not going to be they're not going to be Xen. It's not going to be wrapped. However, the plan is in the works to bridge all of Xen that has been minted on, like, let's say, Ethereum and Polygon and Phantom, and wrap those Xen coins into an appropriate contract that can be tradable on X1. So you should be able to trade your Xen that you minted on Ethereum on X1.
Okay. And the follow-up question by Jay-Z Hexing, another very generous super chat. I think she might be a sugar mama.
Okay, Jay-Z's great people.
Oh, I know she is. She's awesome.
Amazing person. I love her.
I love it. And obviously very generous. So thank you. So within X1, what is the exchange rate or ratio on the XN versus Xen pair? Is that anything you guys have thought through? I mean, I know it's kind of...
Yeah. We thought through that. So the market will establish the rate. We do not plan to establish rigid rates. Really want to follow the organic market decisions.
So with that being said, I got another follow-up question. I'd like to hear everybody's opinion on this. So by allowing the market to establish the first price, created the chart that we look at now, that everybody says, oh, why would you ever invest in a coin with a chart that looks like this? Because somebody, the early guy, was smart enough to put a pie in the sky trading pair for Xen USDC, and someone else paid for it. So it gave us that one high point, and then it bled out after that. So,
well, that guy made a lot of money. He's happy.
A couple people did. A couple people got hurt on that trade. But is there what do you guys that have been around and traded a lot think about letting the market decide on the price and I guess the concern of a similar chart pattern with XN if it indeed follows the same play that Xen did?
So that's always a question. Do you manipulate the price, or do you let the market decide what the price is? And I am leaning towards market deciding. And if you think about it, most of the companies that go IPO with their shares, first they have this thing called a roadshow, where they present the IPO and all of the documents and everything they were doing to a bunch of hedge funds and investors who are willing to buy. And then they solicit their response. Like, for example, when Google went IPO, Google wanted to go IPO at $105, but there wasn't enough demand. So they went IPO at $80 just by taking the temperature of the market. So now it still was an organic move to do. Like, Google couldn't come up with $1 trade themselves initially. So in all of the financial markets, it is the markets that decide what the value is. So I think everybody should just follow the same model, and anything else is just manipulation.
Now, so let's say we could travel back in time for 1 second, and you could have all the insight that you have at this moment back then, which is not possible, obviously. So is there any part of you that would have liked to have more control over that first moment? Rather, there wouldn't necessarily have to be a lot of volume. Really, it's not a volume thing. It's not asking you how much volume you're putting in. It's just asking you where the price starts with a certain amount of money. Is there any part of you that wishes that you could, in a gentle way, set that price to maybe something closer to what the math would play out to?
Okay, well, let's say that I have done that. Somehow I made the chart 7 zeros in one, and then it pumps to 3 zeros in one, and it gets you 10,000x. Is it really appropriate for me to say that I have manipulated the price and caused 10,000x gain, even though it's not really a true gain? So I don't think that's first principles. First principles is when the market organically gives the value to anything, no matter what, whether it's an ugly chart or a pretty chart. The market is the market. And so, but even if I have done that, would I go around Twitter and brag, look at this Xen amazing performance, where we all know that it's all fake? I would rather live with the ugly chart the way it is now. I actually think it's beautiful myself. So, but it's more important for me to maintain my reputation of a person who stands behind first principles, including economy
Nice.
and the market decisions, than manipulation and inverting the chart or anything like that. I mean, I'm not here to glorify my ego in any particular way. I'm actually surprised that Xen actually traded at $1.50 on the first trade. Like, I totally did not expect that. I thought it would be zero.
Right.
I thought it would be zero.
Wow.
Like, but somebody made the trade. I mean, like, well, it was an interesting experiment.
Nice. Crypto Profeta. First of all, Joseph J, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you being here. This, I know you can answer this question, Profeta. Is it, for people who haven't burned yet, is it too late?
No, it's not too late. It's not too late. And never too late. You know when it's too late? Over 8 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's interesting.
That's
man.
the late. You know why? Because and hitting back on the chart price, because this is something that a lot of people have been brainwashed with, right? So as a trader, I always have been encountered with different type of people that talks about how to trade and stuff like that. But one of the main important key of crypto is liquidity. Liquidity plays a very big role in crypto, in the whole entire scenes, right? So what happened is a lot of people come in with this ideology of making a lot of money. So they have this expectation of, if the chart is downwards, it's not something to invest in.
That's such
right?
a ridiculous thing.
So I have been teaching people how to trade, and always we go into like pre-sales and stuff like that. I'm always counting how much liquidity they will be adding in the pools, so I can calculate and decide how much the price will be worth of the token. So then a lot of people come in, they will be like, okay, I think it's gonna be worth $1 or 3 cents or 0.501, something like that, so they can make a very fast trade. So they're already with this brainwash mindset of, okay, the market cap is important, so that means that. But what they don't know is what decide the market cap, what decide the market, what make the market so important is the liquidity that being added into the token. And what happened with Xen is that a lot of people doesn't understand. From in the beginning, we were there watching the price, watching the chart, watching what happening. So it's taking the same approach as a airdrop. So in the airdrop, the same thing happened also. So you see this company come up and be like, okay, we have this amount of money, we have this amount of token, we're gonna blend it together and this create a price, this green candle. Right. And after the green candle, a lot of people are seeing that something is for free. So when people are seeing that something is for free, they feel like they're entitled to sell, and they are in their own right. Right. So they start selling, and this will start happening with the price. The price will start going down until the price start finding its equilibrium. So this is the main thing about crypto that people doesn't understand. And this is when a lot of people get out of it and be like, okay, I make my money, I'm out. But what they don't understand is that price start changing away from the starting point. And when the price start making its time up, people will start seeing the real development, because what makes the chart goes up is not the amount of money, is the community behind the token. Right. So the community is building. We are building a community. We are building a fan base. We are building what we are calling the structure of Xen, the structure of how the token behave in itself. And we have to remember, we didn't launch in a bear market, in a bull market. We launched in the bear market, right?
Right.
So that also play a very big role. So in the bear market, a lot of people doesn't have money. So if we go to the DeFi Llama and we go into the chart to see how much money was invested into 2021, we are talking about $380 billion. But we are going back now to DeFi Llama to check how much money there is in pools. We're talking about $3 billion. right? So it's not compare what happening in the bear market to compare with what happening in the bull market. So people don't take in consideration, and they don't see the full perspective of, we are now in a bear market. The best time to buy is in a bear market, right? The best time to accumulate is in the bear market. The best time to check project is in the bear market. And then what will happen? The question will be, what will happen in the next bull market? Are you guys ready for the next bull market?
I hope so.
I got 1,000 stake. I got 1,000-day stake. I'm ready. Actually, can I talk real quick about that too?
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up our next guest. We have Zen Su in the house. Look at this guy.
Hey,
hello.
Zen Su.
Yeah, go ahead, CryptoBruhh, and then we've got another super chat I want to bring up after that. But yeah, please go ahead.
So my philosophy here is that if you read the white paper, you'll notice that the Xen token is a proof of participation style of a token. And if you're coming kind of from like a technical standpoint, right, like it's hard to trust these white papers because it's basically a bunch of information that you're reading. It makes a lot of sense, but it's like, is this gonna be brought to life? Because it's trying to, make a vehicle to push this idea. And I feel like with the chart making its own price, the market making the price of the chart, that's more proof for me that there is participation. Because if people are going to start engaging with the chart, then me as like a user or a miner of Xen, then kind of, it all comes together. It's like, cool, I've been mining this Xen. Now there's a chart. I can go and sell it if I want, or I can, hodl it or stake it or, do whatever I want with the Xen. But eventually the market should participate if it's built around the Xen eco. But that's kind of how I view it. I even hope X1 goes all the way down. I'd be in the Twitter spaces saying like, I'm gonna be the first person to dump on everybody's head. I'm participating in the dump. Let's go.
I wanted to mention one thing about the liquidity that Profeta brought up. And I want people to remember, people make thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a day providing liquidity for these assets. And Jack, you look away. And but for real. So remember, there's guys with a lot more resources than you in general that can provide liquidity. When I was looking at the liquidity in the first 40 days, I'm pretty sure it got up to $1.1 million. I was very skeptical of who was putting that money in there. Extremely skeptical. Who? And nobody in this ecosystem. Nope. Maybe some Mexicans. And I didn't know who. So when I saw $1.1 million up there initially, I said to myself, well, I don't know how it all works, but I said, that guy's making an S load of money. There was $1.1 million of trading volume on that day that I was watching. Today, there's roughly 440,000, right? So to think that people do not make money off of liquidity providing is silly. In fact, most of the money at this point that has been made is from liquidity providing in this asset.
Big fact.
So, and also keep in mind that a lot of people, the what's reflecting in the chart is the reason why Xen is working. We cannot take out of our mind that because the contract is working. That's the most important thing, right? The contract is doing its thing. So in case let's say the aliens come down and take Jack away, right? You can still interact with a contract, right? You can still move within the parametric of how the contract works. So that's the main key point of everything around here. But I'm sorry that I have to say it again, but people have this mindset that chart is important. The chart is not important, right? In the beginning of Bitcoin, the chart was not important. We didn't have a chart. We didn't have the chart to look to.
True.
So it was like, okay, how can I interact with this? How can I ask my nephew, hey, you know what? I want you to bring something to me to Rotterdam. Can I pay you in Xen? It will be like, yeah, why not? Even though he know the chart, the price is going down on the chart, but he's like, okay, he's giving me the value of what I think is appropriate for the token. So that has to be the interaction, right? Because a lot of people lose the main focus of the crypto, and the main focus is that the contract is working without Jack, right?
Right.
So we cannot lose the focus out of it. So that's why we are going back with what Joker was saying, that we have on Twitter, a lot of people, they start texting something and everybody get it like a chain, start repeating the same thing over and over again, but nobody takes the time to go in a contract, read a contract, right? Do the research on the contract, go into the pools, the Uniswap pools, and start checking who's the one providing liquidity. Can I do the same thing that this person is doing, right? So that's the main thing that people have to be worried about, right? How can I build the same strategy as these big whales are doing? Can I make the same amount of money? Okay, but can I have a piece of the pie, right? So this is the way you can start thinking as an investor. Start thinking the way that you can be like, okay, how can I take advantage of this? How can I build my capital? How can I build and stake for the future, mint for the future? Because I know within the period of time when the bull market started hitting in, it's going to be very difficult for people to mint it. Nobody's going to mint. People be like, you think I'm going to take 40 days to mint? Of course not. Price is going up. I'm going to buy this shit. They're going to start buying it. Exactly. So people are not seeing it now, but I'm seeing it. Why? Because I already encountered it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I have to go
back
back to
a pizza yet with Xen?
Yeah, that's what we're all waiting for.
I'm going to Switzerland to bring it to you. So
it's gonna be
Right, that's how we're gonna do it.
By the way, guys, I heard someone ask about the VMUs for this NFTs. How come some guys did 130? So the answer is, in our UI, the 128 is the safe max on that network. However, the true limit is the max limit is it's limited by the network's block gas limit. So those with higher VMUs have used a different UI or simply interacted straight with the protocol. So some DJs figured that out and added some extra alpha to their NFTs, which is good for them. Yeah, you can add you can like spice them up by either doing that, but now someone figured that out, or you can also do something hot with the burn amount. Nice. Make some fun with that.
Real quick, will stakers get any X1 for burning? Do they have to burn the staked NFT, or will the staked NFT earn them X1 in the sense because they're locking it up? That's a question from Lock and Profit. Thank you for the super chat there. Does that make sense, Jack?
Yeah. So at the moment, any minter of any NFT will get an airdrop.
No.
Burning not required. But if you sell your NFT, like if you buy it actually, and that came up in a Telegram chat just recently, somebody bought as NFT and they didn't get the airdrop. The reason is they didn't get an airdrop because they were not the original minter. So only the original minters, not the buyers, get the airdrop.
So what if you buy a Zunicorn? Will you get an airdrop because you're holding the proof of burn at that point, or will two parties get?
No, just one, just the minter.
Ooh. So
now the reason
Joker's laughing. He's getting excited about something.
I'm reading the chat, Jim.
No, I already know what you're laughing at.
The reason why we decided to only reward minters is because somebody can game the system by passing NFTs between wallets and getting airdrop for every wallet.
Wash trading them?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, if you pass it into 10 different wallets, you're not supposed to get an airdrop. I mean, we could have said that only the holder. Like it's just much more complicated to follow this NFT rather than to follow the original minter.
Okay.
So and also original minters, they're the market makers. So we wanted to benefit the market makers, not the people who are actually purchasing.
Makes sense.
There's pros and cons with both the ways of doing it. There could be some like dangerous edge cases as well with arbitrage opportunities and stuff. So this is the safest way of doing it, but it's just for the testnet, or the devnet, so anything can change. And also how much you got for the how much Xen you got for whatever, that's also not in line with the difficulty of minting them or burning for having minted them as well.
Gotcha.
So for the devnet, it's just like trying to test out the airdrop function,
So
which works really well.
How will be working? Because a lot of people in my community are asking, they are doing some minting right now. So how long does it take for someone if they mint like a XeNFT, and how long it will take to them first to receive a airdrop?
So we're running daily airdrops right now, but that's just because we're testing airdrops. We're not going to commit to daily airdrops. And again, this is DevNet, right? This is for people to play with things. Ultimately, I think we may settle on something like a weekly schedule, like every Friday you get an airdrop, but not necessarily every day.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fair though, because as a participator in the Xen ecosystem, it is kind of fair to that you're rewarding the person that popped out the NFT because they did the pop, they did the proof of participation in a logical state, versus like the person who buys it from OpenSea, you participated in Ethereum, not necessarily Xen. Even though you did buy the Xen object, you used Ethereum to buy it. That's how I think of it.
Nice. Yeah,
there might be like when we're designing next, there you have an allocation for your XeNFT for your Apex Limited. So that there's different ways of doing it, and the way we're thinking about doing it, that's the latest iteration, is that you sort of have to prove your participation in the allocation. So in order for you to receive that allocation, you have to claim that position, and then the allocation is vested exponentially, for instance. So that would mean that the allocation would be carried by this NFT instead in that case. So yeah, there's many different ways of doing it.
Nice. Quick question. This is my favorite part of the show, where I get to make some fun of myself for doing something really stupid. Jay-Z Hexing says, "What the hell, man? I'm a dude. I've met most of you guys face to face." I said he was a sugar mama. That would be his wife, CZ. My mistake. Apologize.
And then when he said sugar mama, I thought, and then I read the question and I said her, but I've also met Jay-Z in real life, and he's a great guy too. So sorry for calling you a chick.
That's all right. I mean, it is what it is, right?
But when you get married, guys, I heard you form as one.
That's right. You become one. So this is a topic of conversation PNW Sasquatch brings up, and it relates to your stream with Buck from Famous, I think, GRC. And I know, Jack, you had mentioned that you had spoken to Buck. So PNW Sasquatch brings up the conversation that you guys had, GRC, where he was mentioning that Xen was like the hors d'oeuvres of what's coming within the Xen ecosystem. Can you tell us that Xen will always be in the heart of the core of these projects moving forward? And, I'd just like to get everyone's thought about that conversation surrounding what Buck was saying. Some people thought it was fun. Some people thought it was encouraging. I'm indifferent, still kind of thinking on it, but start with you on that, GRC, and then I'd like to hear your thoughts, Jack, and anybody else that A, has seen it, or B, has an opinion.
Xen Su should speak about the Legos too, so don't forget Xen Su.
Okay, let's roll GRC and then right to Xen Su and then go.
No. Go straight to the Legos. I love Legos.
Okay.
Love Lego talk.
What was it about the Legos, Jack?
Well, so basically the question was I remember Buck asked in the Twitter space if Xen was just the hors d'oeuvre, and this was obviously many weeks ago. And
yeah. So there's a million different things you can do. You've heard my Lego analogy many times now. So Xen is the base of everything that we do. It's the basic Lego block. It's the most perfect thing we could ever create based on what we now know, and it lives up to the first principles to the fullest extent. Now everything we do on top of that is a vertical integration, and there's a multitude of many creations that we can make from that, and I don't think we even realize to the extent that we can create stuff. If you take the Lego analogy, for instance, if you just have 6 Lego blocks 4x2, you can make 917 million different unique combinations from them. So for each Lego block you add, there are the number of combinations, unique combination, is growing exponentially. So of course, Xen is the starter. It's the little champagne you drink before the starter, and we can see this, right? We just accidentally released the testnet, the devnet. Like we should have released it in a few days, but it got released, and already now, people are just going crazy with creations and doing stuff that we could not even imagine, and putting on dexes and stuff already. So when we provide the platform for people to create, we can amplify that creativity. So I don't think we even know where we will be in even a year from now. Only like your imagination can limit.
Jim Rat, what was your take on that interview and his thoughts? I mean, did you feel like
I think Buck is awesome, and I've said horrible things to Buck, and I go straight to his DMs and I say, I know you know more than me. I just get frustrated. I do. I get frustrated, and but he's very open-minded, and I think he takes a lot of, just like Jack, just like anyone who's good at innovation, takes a lot of ideas from others and implements them into his own work. And I think he sees opportunity within the Xen ecosystem with a lot of bodies, continue the saga. I always call it the saga of Richard and Jack, come on, I got to do all that stuff. And I believe that there is synergy here. And with atomic swaps and all-chain bridging, really, at the end of the day, whoever's putting money in these things, they all can go in and out. So the people will decide eventually where they want their money. And I think it's good to have open, talks about all these things. And I think it gives really smart guys more ideas. I like when really smart guys get more ideas. I'm buying some Chia miners today. I didn't invent those Chia miners. I'm grateful those guys invented those easy Chia miners that I could buy, right? So I like when these smart guys get together and really push themselves, push everyone to try better. And I remember Jack said one time, I'm attacking mediocrity, not attacking anyone's chain. And I totally enjoyed when he said that. And I said, I love when these guys, they're smarter than me in this field. They understand more than me in 100,000 ways. And I like to watch them push each other and have fun with it too. This can be fun, believe it or not. It is fun for me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
So few things on the sort of change of perception of what Xen is, and including I believe the Buck fiat had a change of perception. But let's go through a psychology of a regular human in crypto. So Mr. Jack comes out of nowhere, makes a coin in 400 lines of code that nobody really wants to take seriously. And it looks like...
Because he's a janitor.
Right.
This is the best.
Sweeps the floors, you're right.
And it,
Vampiric janitor.
And so what it looks like an attack on every chain. So every chain suffers tremendously with high gas prices, with ability to do transactions. Pretty much every chain. I think the only chain that did not suffer was Phantom. But everybody else were bending at the strain, like including Polygon. Polygon Gwei numbers went to some stratospheric amounts, like 50,000 or something like that. I have screenshots of that. So anyway, from a regular person's perspective, this looks like some sort of malicious, weird attack. And the person, myself, Mr. Jack, does not have any coins pre-allocated. So like, am I just having fun? Am I being like a Joker, setting everything on fire and like everything burned? You know that meme with like money burning, and like Joker says it's not about the money,
it's about the message.
It's about the right. And so that sort of like within the first 30, 40, 50 days, that was the regular mental model for a person, especially the one who is like, well, wait a second, why is nobody paying attention to my coin and everybody paying to this coin that actually doesn't even have a good chart? So that's 95% of the people. Now, the 5% of the people actually, or maybe more than that, they have heard the rest of the message. And the rest of the message was that Xen was built as a cryptocurrency for the masses to adopt the market into crypto, but also into projects that will be built on top of Xen. So we have unleashed Xen so that the proof of burn mechanism could be used to build other applications. And of course, nobody believed me because the message was a little too loud on the burning side. Like, we burned Ethereum to the ground. We made Ethereum deflationary. By my calculations, and I'm looking at Ethereum right now, 1648. If we didn't burn the Ethereum the way we did, it probably would have been trading at about 1300. Just looking at the supply numbers and the market action and all that. So $300 on Ethereum is worth about $50 billion. So $50 billion has been added to the ecosystem just because Ethereum became deflationary.
Wow.
And that's the truth.
Why is that not like on a news channel somewhere?
Well,
it was. If you go to
Did you see the first article that ever came out? They won. Xen Crypto detonates crypto market.
Investopedia also did an article on it.
So it detonates the crypto market. Everybody's talking about it, but the traders, they really don't care. Like a trader by definition is not an economist. Right. They do not understand the market forces, what influences the prices, what is deflation. And we just happen to time, maybe on purpose, maybe not. I don't know. I guess it was on purpose. We timed to do it before the merge so that we can capture the merge. And I expected it to be hot. I expected the merge and the burn to be bound together like a liquid pair. The message connected to Ethereum. Ethereum moved higher, caused everything to rally, not just Ethereum itself. Everything else rallied too. I mean, like look at Solana. Solana went up 150% from $10 to 25, and that's because people are excited overall about one of the biggest programmable cryptocurrencies out there that happens to be Ethereum. Now, again, the message always was, we will release Xen, we'll put it in everybody's pocket, and then we will make it valuable due to the fact that other projects, and ourselves included, will build things. Now, again, people didn't take it seriously, but all of a sudden, Phoenix protocol is out or will be out. There are lots of white papers being produced. And now the L1 is actually in a testing mode, which makes it super interesting, making people believe that we're not here fly-by-night operation, and Joker didn't put us up to it to burn everything. So that is why people's minds are changing, because they're thinking, well, wait a second. I have looked at the chart and I was fixated on the chart way too much, but I have missed the fact that 1 million users came to the Xen ecosystem on 10 different chains over 100-day period, which is unheard of. And now all of those new things, including in one, being built. So yes, Xen remains and will remain the core of bringing people together into this new ecosystem we're building.
Bullish.
Very bullish.
Wow.
Very
And he
bullish.
mic dropped. He said that and he just left.
Yeah.
I know, ghosted us.
That was awesome.
I'm still here. I'm just like
No, I'm joking.
playing with the water bottle.
He's throwing his axes.
Stream Deck.
Bitcoin Benito gives a super chat. Thank you very much. Is XeNFTs and Xen can be minted on X1? Won't this take away from the ETH value of Xen and XeNFTs? You mentioned that you still haven't decided if mainnet is going to hold.
There's no reason to mint it because we want the chains to be cohesive together. So we want the economic energy to flow in and out. Like, for example, you mint Xen on Ethereum plus 9 other different chains. Then you can burn it on those chains, giving it more value. And you're getting Xen token right there on Ethereum that you can then swap for the native Xen on the X1, do all kinds of things with it, and then have a bridge back to potentially either buy more or provide liquidity or whatever that you want. So think about it this way. The settlement layer, when it comes to liquidity and trading, will always be Ethereum and plus other chains like Polygon and Binance. whoever has the actual cash. Like X1 does not have the liquidity today. X1 is something that will be an execution layer running amazing things and having a lot of people, but then you can always bridge over back and forth between all the chains if you wanted to. So that's the end goal.
Yeah. We're going to need some of the degens in this room to help out with that. Captain Cash asks.
Also the fact that, sorry, CryptoKinez,
no,
I
go
just
ahead,
want
please.
to mention quickly, like also the fact that what we're doing with X1 is creating a lot of utility for Xen. So we're creating incentives to burn Xen on all the other chains, which is making Xen on all the other chains more valuable.
Yeah. So one of you guys mentioned providing liquidity. I know GRC, you were talking about it, and CryptoBruhh. Captain Cash asks about providing liquidity on Uniswap v3. Can it produce you more Xen than minting?
I can answer that pretty easily.
Yeah, so can I, unfortunately.
Because basically, guys, if you're not, I'm very detached from my money. I don't know why. I might be a little broken inside, but I like to practice things and I like to click buttons and I don't mind doing things wrong. And sometimes I do things right. But with the volatility of an asset like this, if you're going to try to do any sort of tight range, you're going to get perma-wrecked. You're going to get perma-wrecked, and it doesn't mean that you're going to end up with a bad deal. It means you're going to end up with impermanent loss. You're going to end up with one side of a bag that you had two sides of initially, and that could cause you to be afraid. Generally, doesn't mean sometimes having 100 billion Xen is amazing, right? But if something happens all at one moment, you're just going to get nervous. And I always tell people, if you're emotionally engaged in what's going on, generally you're in a really bad spot. Because it could be the best thing in my life that all my Xen went to USDC or ETH or whatever, or the other way around. But it's just the way you interpret it. And generally, you're going to get nervous, think something's wrong, and you're going to end up with zero crypto in your wallet somehow.
Yeah. Profeta, what's your thoughts on that? And then CryptoBruhh, I know you do this as well. But
it's the same thing. The same thing was what GR was saying. Because if you take it from also a different type of perspective, you need to be open to learn stuff, right? And to understand why these big players are providing liquidity. So one of my main strategy, what I'm doing is very easy. It's just I'm going to the big bucks, right? I made a video. I was showing people how you can go on and check these big players and see what they are doing when they are doing it, and check out for like for example, when the price of Xen is pumping, right? So for the best time to like provide liquidity will be when some news is coming up. So yeah, people will be trying to game the system, right? Trying to win and see how they can make a bit of money. And yeah, will be like providing liquidity will not cost you if you're not tied to your money, right? But you can learn from it. You can learn from it and make a lot of money. And I always say the best time to make money providing liquidity is when you have like a bull run, and also you have like a sideways trend, right? With the timing and the range of the token. So it will be that within that period of time. But a lot of people will be like, okay, for me, especially for me, I always search for the best time. Like for example, let's say Jack announced X1 and Q1, right? I'm already planning my game ahead of. So now I'm trying to providing within the range that I think that the price will be moving, right? And then provide the same amount of liquidity that I can lose, right? So I can stay within that range. If I get out of the range, now I always be seeing, okay, I can go on and buy back with the same money that I have been collecting fees on, go back and buy the token again, right? So the thing is, I'm providing liquidity. So it's what I was saying to my people. I was telling them, you know what? I'm providing liquidity so you guys can sell, right? But at the same time, I'm also making money. So yeah, so that's my take on it.
You know,
I'm curious, Profeta, how you are structuring your mints now, because initially we only talked about the incentives for the max mint term, but now we're fast coming up with many different other opportunities to deploy your Xen on by burning it and to get something else like Nex and Phoenix and stuff like that. So how you? I'm asking you because you have a mind of trading and liquidity.
Before let's parking lot that, because CryptoBruhh, you had something to say about liquidity. I want to make sure we finish that up before we go to the minting strategy.
Yeah, I was actually going to be a little bit more technical about the strategy. So for myself, I wanted more of the Zen um, on one side. So I used the chart going down and the concept of proof of participation as me getting more Zen because people were going to be minting it and selling it. And I would be getting more Zen on one side than the Ethereum I had on the other side. And I thought of the fees as just being like a fun thing that I got for being part of the whatever Uniswap is offering. And like something that came up in our Twitter spaces that somebody brought to the surface, Clout out there, shout out to Clout, but he's really big on BZen. And there's also like Zenhead, shout out Zenhead to see he's in the chat. Zenhead is really big on Matic, and they were saying that maybe if you need less risk and you want to have your scientist experiment, maybe that's why you go to the lower chain so that you can try to provide liquidity on PancakeSwap or on Uniswap on Polygon, so that or QuickSwap on Polygon. So then that way you can have your experience before you go and play with the big dogs on Ethereum, and maybe accidentally not understand the concepts, and then you don't get the right education before getting in the LP. So that's kind of why, bringing it back to X1, I went ham when I got the link, because I wanted to be the person that understood what everything was and what was happening. Like I didn't care if it was vaporware or not. Actually, to bring it all into full circle, we have that vanilla staker, and then we have the vanilla minter, which are just very basic concepts of Zen. Now I see X1 as like our vanilla blockchain. That's why I put that ice cream cone on your Twitter, Zinsu, because it's like an ice cream machine, bro. And you could just go and experiment and have that thing that you want to, or that itch you got to scratch, if you're a really big crypto enthusiast and you understand that you don't want to risk your value out here.
So can I just real quick just want to touch on something?
Yeah.
So Profeta, you mentioned that as soon as you get that information, you start plotting, right? You start putting together the pieces and you start formulating your game plan on how to operate within whatever information you just got. That's it's one of the things that we should all work towards, right? So professing this kind of information, getting this information out to as many people as possible is highly, highly, highly important, because in essence, as soon as they get that information, or anybody gets this information, whether they be your friends or family or so on and so forth, you are doing them a justice, right? You're getting them, in front of the line to go ahead and operate within the Zen ecosystem. So with that being said, Twitter, right? Make sure you tweet, right? Tweet, reshare this live stream and any one of the live streams that do occur surrounding Zen, because your family and your friends really depend on that. And, when you do sit down in that Thanksgiving dinner and they're going to, Zen pumps, and they're going to be like, wow, I made it, $10,000, $20,000 because of this cool information you gave me. You'll be the hero for that time, right? So make sure you share this out, tag like 3 of your friends, that kind of thing on Twitter or anywhere else. Show this live stream here on Crypto Kindness or any of our channels, because we're champions in information.
Real quick, just before I'm going to shut up, but a lot of people are saying, oh, you need all this big money to provide liquidity. I promise you guys, I don't have that much money. And at some point, I had half of the BZen pool. So in BZen had $5,000 in it, I think. The BZen liquid.
Half?
Well, at the time, I didn't stay in there very long, but I was just looking at it. Like, there was $5,000 in there, and I was experimenting. So I said, well, why don't I put some money in here and see what kind of yield I can get on a full range V2, right? Because I wanted to see what the rates were, pretty much. That's it. And I thought it was interesting because when I first started bringing up liquidity providing, Wales only told me I needed $150 million to even consider it. And 8 months later, I came out of that mental wormhole, and I was like, okay, so maybe people don't really understand what's going on. Maybe people don't really understand, because I've never even, Hex has $5 million in the pool. This has, $663,000 in the pool. So I think it's important to remember, guys, if you want to practice, my suggestion, go over to ETHPOW, where there's V3 liquidity providing, and you can do it with no transaction fees, basically. So if you want to practice liquidity providing, I have some videos on it, but Ethereum POW, where there's no fees and a lot less liquidity, is a really fun, enjoyable way for me, at least, to learn liquidity providing. And I think liquidity providing is generally to sell out of a position. I think you nailed it. What is your full name on the Twitter again? It's not popping under there. It's CryptoBruhh.
Yeah, CryptoBruhh.
CryptoBruhh.
It's
Jim Rat done told you,
BRUH.
baby.
No, but I'm telling you, just in general, I think he nailed it. Like, I'm super degen, just like to learn shit. But the truth is, people use liquidity providing to move in and out of positions without slippage and without fees, or without the same kind of slippage. I guess there's still fees. It just depends how you're doing it and how long you're going to hold it in there. But I think you nailed it. I really do think that's the average reason somebody would use that, is to find a better rate or a bottom on what they were using in that pool and get a good deal.
We can have a lot of fun with X1 on teaching Xenians liquidity as well.
Well, I used liquidity just recently, and it wasn't very much, but I purposely sold myself into a limited XeNFT because I got fees and I knew the price was going down, so I was able to buy it all the way down and get a really, really good deal on my XeNFT. And I was okay. I accepted the psychology of if I took permanent loss either way, or impermanent loss either direction, I was okay with it.
Of course, and people have to be responsible. That's one thing that no one's is trying to teach people, how to be responsible with your own money and be responsible when you invest. I see crypto as, you know, the fountain where I can throw my money and make a wish, right? So, you know, I throw my cents and I make a wish. I wish that the price one day will start going up, right? But even though I know we have a base, and I'm going back to the strategy, because I did a video in the group, in the X1 group, talking about what my perspective is and what I can expect of Xen and building up a strategy. So my main strategy is very easy. I know the halving is within March 2024, right? So maybe I think that Jack, I don't know what he did, but maybe he purposely fixed it within that range of the halving of Bitcoin. So everybody knows that when the halving of Bitcoin is coming 150 days later, so it's like you can see the statistics. Everything after 150 days, the price of crypto start pumping. It's just every year, every 150 days after a halving. So if you didn't know that, go to the chart, go check it. 150 days later, all-time high, price start pumping. So now what I'm doing is, I know that in an article that I saw on the crypto foundation, I saw an article talking about that Xen, the X1 will be launching on the Q1 of 2024, right? So what I'm doing is I start dropping a lot of minting through the batch minter to 3 of March, right? So in the weekend. So I'm preparing myself. So start doing a lot of batch minting. I'm not even going for the NFTs. I already have my bag of NFTs. Why? My main focus is I'm not trying to take away the principle of everything. The key of everything is Xen over here, right? Because a lot of people are thinking, okay, we're going to see the chain is coming up. We're going to move some stuff to the chain and stuff like that. But we have to keep in mind that a token will be deflectionary, right? So a lot of people will start burning. A lot of people will start, and people will start taking away their focus, the real principal focus of why they having Xen. So that's the reason why people need to be focused, right? I know, and this will be sounding a little bit strange, but it will be, it's like that we have a lot of stuff going on and people are just like, okay, we have this project is coming, this project is coming, this project is coming, and people are losing focus of the real deal, right? So, but that doesn't have to be the main reason of it, right? The main thing is I'm building up my strategy for the Q1. So for the Q1, I already have a bag already lying down, so I can just burn through the Stargate bridge. What I sent Jack also an article about. So building my strategy and before the Q1, right? So holding my bag just to have that bag, so I can take it over to the exchange, and I'm having a bag especially for the next, and having a bag especially for the Phoenix. So what I'm doing is I'm not trying to time it, but I'm just trying to see if I can find the range where I can move my money and move my investment all around, because I know the price of sand will keep on dipping. So it's a very good opportunity for me to start buying some Xen unicorns, right? So I'm building the stack. I'm building my position up, right? When people are not buying, when people are not minting, when people are not doing nothing, I'm just doing what I have to do. My main principle is I mint until I die, right? So I will keep on minting no matter what happened, no matter which project is coming up. I will stay focused. My main focus is build my bag of Xen because it will be deflectionary. People need to keep that in mind. So don't be going loose and getting crazy about all the things happening around. Keep your focus. The main focus is, look, I'm a crazy hat crypto guy, and I love crypto with a lot of zeros because I love crypto with a lot of zeros. I don't care what people say. No, I have my success with crypto. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And what I know is,
you mean zeros after the one or before the one?
After the one.
Okay.
going up after before the one, so it's like, yeah.
Because so some people love the zeros before the one too, because those when you get those, you're getting in early.
I mean that one. Sorry, I mean that one with a lot of 0.0000000 all the way down. So that's my main thing that I love to go in, because when I started with Shiba, the same thing, right? Liquidity was 4,000 liquidity.
Wow.
People were like, no, we never gonna see this happen. I was there chilling, relaxing in my boat, waiting for the time. And I start, boom, 1 million, do my cash out. I put I also made a screenshot. People can say, I just invest like $75. From that, I made approximately like 100K or something.
Dude,
so
that's crazy.
This is saying I'm seeing the history is repeating itself again, and people are like, yeah, but I don't understand. But yeah, I came into Shiba when I was very early, and I'm doing the same thing. When I see a project that has potential, and I see they have a fundamental, right, and the most important thing, and a creator that knows is short his face out, because I know the creator of Shiba, but a lot of people doesn't know him, right? But I know I can see your face. I can see your history. What do you have been building, and have the trajectory until now, the success that you have been having, right? So of course people will come in, and I will say it again. The bull market will give the token the price he deserves to have, right? Because before the storm, after the storm will come, the success. So we are in the storm of the bear market right now. Everybody is hyping. Everybody is crying because they're losing money. They don't know what to do. Market is going down, and people don't know that their emotion is too attached onto their token. And when you start to learn to detach yourself and focus on the project and focus on building stuff on it, you will start seeing a different vision of what you're seeing right now.
I think like this. You have the first principles as the foundation of everything, right? And this is the educational part, which we all take part in, and that's always part of the conversation in everything we do. And then on top of that, we can mint that. We can create our own value, and you have a minting strategy for that should constantly be in whatever you do. You should never forget that minting strategy. It's exactly as you're alluding to. And then on top of that, we have many different options that we can sort of allocate to or invest in. But in between that, you also have these temporary things that you can do, right, with the staking and liquidity providing and so on. So these are the different layers of things we can do with our economic energy, interacting with the systems in time, but also optimizing our yields, but also educating that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's good that you're saying don't forget about the minting, the foundations of everything.
Quick comment. I think Crypto Professor should change the name to Crypto Professor.
Yeah.
No hey, let's go.
Hey, wait a second. Before we go there, let me say the 1st of November, I predict this the X1 chain. Okay, I call the top on the day. You did.
I predicted X1 on the day.
And for you guys in the chat that maybe haven't ran into Profeta for any reason, first of all, he's absolute OG, absolutely a generous person.
Yeah.
And he's called me for no reason and gave me insights I had no reason to have. And I really do appreciate you. So all you guys in there that just, they don't know one of us, so they just call us fucking idiots. Profeta's the real deal. Profeta's the real deal, and I listen to him closely. I really do. And I appreciate him very much.
I call the hex dump on the day.
Wait a minute! I called the hex dump.
You called the Richard Hart
I called
top.
the 5 cent.
Bro, oh my god, when they were doing that hex flex stuff, that's where it all started. Yeah.
I called it on the day.
Just enjoy it.
So
I'm just kidding. Don't hurt me, Mexicans, like you've been.
Oh man. What's everybody's thoughts on this? Xen is going to continue to dump for years. Why not burn everything now? Jack, what's your strategy? We heard Crypto Profeta's strategy. What's your strategy, Jack? That would be a good one to know.
I am minting 400 days out because
all mints.
So I was a vanilla cranker for a while, and then XeNFTs came out, and I'm now focusing on Xenturions because Xenturions let you bulk mint for the future, and it gives me liquidity. So like if I want to sell my future mint, I can do it right now.
Nice. CryptoBruhh, what's your strategy?
I'm similar to Jack. Well, I won't lie. These past 110 days, I've been on a roller coaster of trying to figure out how to actually beat Jack. And to be honest, every single time I try to beat this guy, it seems to be that Xen becomes more proof of participation. That's why I went on testnet first day. I was like, I got to stay ahead. If I'm not there first day, I'm late. What's the thing? Yeah, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm doing the same thing. I'm max minting. If you've been in the spaces with me, you've heard me say I'm doing a 1500 day social experiment in a sense, where I'm gonna give Xen a 1500 days to build what the white paper is essentially saying it can become. So I can see how mass adoption can play a factor with the way that the vanilla pieces of the puzzle work, right? Like a human being has one thing to do, and then in 400 days, they are going to have another thing to do. And then in 1,000 days, they'll have a whole ecosystem to find themselves inside of. So I'm kind of following that game because I want to make sure it works, right? I love cryptocurrency. I wouldn't want crypto to fail because it's being sold the wrong message, or if the white paper doesn't follow what it's supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be able to trust it. So max, we were saying it. Is it a mint max terms stake 1,000 days?
Yeah, that's a perfect strategy because a stake for 1,000 days roughly gives you 50% more in less than 3 years. Well, 1,000 days is how many days is that? How many years?
1,000 days.
1,000 days is 1,000 days.
It's 3 years. It's about 3 years.
2.8.
So it's 3 years plus a year, so it's almost 4 years. And I think you're amplifying your mints by staking so that you can, first of all, you lock in the rate. The APY is 19%, which is very, very generous. It's free money. All you need to do is wait for it.
Yeah, and if that chart keeps going down on all my mints, except for the ones that some of them I did on day one that were 100 days, were profitable by a decent margin. So in reality, if you're just using the strategy as it was laid out initially, as the average user, you're not going to lose money. Now, if you drop 40 grand on the chart on one day, you might want to think about that before you do it. But again, the chart is just a reflection of the first liquidity pool and everything that happens after that. But I've never done really much but mint. I had some cute ideas early on, and they proved maybe not so.
So cute.
Guys, don't forget about staking, because a lot of people is like forgetting about the staking point of view here that a lot of people have, because a lot of people, what they do is like, okay, you have like a 100 period of time of staking, of minting, and then they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna sell it. Why sell it when you can stake it, right? So stake it, build up your yield for 2025, for example, 2025, before the top, you can count it before the top. and then build up within 700 days, 100 days, or 1,000 days, because you can build it up in a certain way that you can calculate and take profit. Because take profit is not bad, people.
Yeah, in
They
here
build this.
I was
Go
going to say
on, go on.
Parfella, and there's more strategies into this too. If you really, like I said, if the white paper is true, right? I'm not trying to add any hopium to this. I read the paper, 15 pages, and it did speak to me and made me believe that we could complete this mission in crypto. So if the white paper is correct, then the real cool strategy you could try to play is the OpenSea strategy. Right. If everybody's on the fence right now, and let's say we're playing trading cards, and these numbers on these staking cards are a real rarity, right? Like my first stake was 53. I got my prime number. Let's get it. Got a little rarity on it. But in the future, in 1,000 days, that's going to be one of the most valuable stakes on OpenSea. And you can't steal the time from it because it's embedded in the NFT. So by me this is why I keep saying it always floats back to the participation part, because by me just participating in today, I could possibly be rewarded tomorrow, and not tomorrow being obviously 24 hours from right now. But if everything plays out the way that it's supposed to, that's what I'm like FOMOing on, right?
Right.
So
and quick thing on staking. So with staking NFTs, your stakes are now liquid, which means there's no reason not to just mint a staking XeNFT, and then you can feel like, okay, well, it is staked, it's in the future, and yet it embeds all of the economic energy inside that XeNFT that's very, very liquid. So which is very important distinction from between just making a stake within your wallet. Because you can make as many stakes as you want. You can ladder your stakes if you really wanted to. You can say 100 days, 200 days, 300 days, 500 days, and 1,000 days, and spread your Xen into those type of staking NFTs that are tradable on OpenSea.
So, Jack,
what do you guys feel about the fact that staking NFTs they unlock that staking economic energy and you can trade with it? So that's an added feature. However, you can't end your stake early, right? So it's at the expense of being able to unstake at any time, in order to, you can unstake a normal vanilla stake. If you're a vanilla staker, you can unstake it any time and get your principal
Vanilla
back.
ice cream.
that's what I was gonna say. I would say the vanilla staker gives people the taste. Right, they can go and taste it, and then if you really are the degen kid, that's like, I can't. Here's the story. It's like me when I sold Hex at a 12x, because I was the degen kid. Yeah, dude, I was the degen kid that didn't understand what time could do for myself, and I just took what I had going. But I didn't have to pay an exit fee or anything, so I didn't really think about it or nothing, because I just let the stake go. I did a short stake and I went to go. But when I look at the NFT staking, I see that time lock now as like a security belt, right? Like it's like, oh snap! Like when I put in this Xen, I can't take it out, and if I want to FOMO out, I could put it on the market and I can sell it like it's something on eBay. But if I want to FOMO out, I have to really plan out my FOMO. And I think that restriction on your crypto, some people need it like me, and it gives us the ability to start building more cryptocurrency, because crypto is so lucrative. It's becoming more lucrative, right? As we transition into the future, we're going to see more fiat ramps. We're going to see more exit portals, I like to say, and you're going to see more advertisement for you to exit out. So I think having the lock on your staking is you really owning up to your future in a sense. So that's why I went ham on
Someone
first day.
tag in Joe Blah. I mean, where's our Phoenix brother?
I'm only allowed to bring so many people up on my StreamYard, so I was like, hey, so many people.
Quick thing on staking NFTs and what it does for the Xen economics. You know how before the NFTs you cannot stake at any time?
Yeah.
No penalties. If you cannot stake at any time, you may be inclined to dump it or to sell it. So staking NFTs, because they create a lock for your Xen, it actually removes Xen from the circulation until a future date, which reduces the supply, liquid supply available for trading. It also protects you from, you can still dump your NFT if you wanted to, but in terms of liquidity entering the market, it's still going to be locked in this NFT. which will make Xen actually more valuable, because if people decide to buy it, then there's less supply to buy. So that's actually very important.
Yeah.
So for
A lot of
me,
information.
the Xen NFT is very particular thing, because it make it much easier for me to send it to my family members, without me to go. I have to go all the way to Amsterdam and be like, yeah, grandma, I came here, let me fix your MetaMask, let me do this for you, let me do this, my auntie and stuff. So I'm doing the same thing that I did with Hex, with Shiba, all the tokens that I've been doing. So I've been building wealth for my family, right? I'm the first self-made in my family. So I'm teaching my family how to be, how to be persistent, how to be patient in doing this, right? So for me, it's like I can mint for them, and then I have all my family's wallet in an Excel sheet, and I will go down, do some minting, and send them to their wallet. Even though I know they don't go to their wallet, be like me all the way every day, check into CoinMarketCap and see if the price is moving up and down, so they don't do that. So what I did was,
man, that's such a good idea. I never even thought of that. That's so good. You can just give a friend or a family member something that it has embedded yield in it. So if you just send them Xen, then they'll have to do something with it. But here you can give them something that has yield built in. That's actually super good.
So now they know that I'm just sending. They don't even know. They don't even have to know. This is because now I'm doing this stream. Maybe they know it in the future, but I'm just minting my NFTs, send them right away to their wallet, right? Minting an NFT, send them to their wallet until I achieve my 20 people in my family, and
they're on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I will go on to explain today how all the whole crypto work again, because it's a different cycle. But then I will be like, okay, do you remember my grandma? Of course, I have this thing here, right? So, like, they give me on Christmas, they give me like 50 euro, both. So what I did was I took the 50 euros and I split it in two, and I mint for 444 days, 443 days, something like that. And I would hold the rest of the money, and I bought them. I minted 2 NFTs for them. So I send them to their wallet. Now I know that I did something with that money, even though they told me, don't invest in crypto, you're going to lose your money. I'm like, don't worry, I know what I'm doing now. Okay,
Don't
so
burn everything.
let me send it to your wallet. You can chill, relax, and one day you can, when we hit the all-time high, whatever what is going to happen, you can just take it and you can do whatever you want with it. But now I don't need to go like give out my seed phrase or something like that. The NFT make it much easier to send it, to your parents, to your family member, or even though if you want to trade with a friend, be like, you know what, how much you want to give me for him? So okay, let me send it to you. So it make it much easier to have in your wallet, right? So that's my take on it.
Yeah, Profela, I came to my conclusions to your point, because I had a friend who told me, I like sent him the Xen information, and then he instantly hit me back and said, oh man, I'm broke right now, like I can't buy a lot of it. And then I was like, nah man, you just can stake it for $5, or you can mint it for $5, and then you can do some more stuff. And then what was funny though, just to get to the point, I had him mint it for $5, and then I told him like, hey, I'm going to remind you in 445 days that it's time to claim. And then when we claim, we're going to stake. And then when we stake, I'll come back and remind you again in 1,000 days. So then you can understand the crypto model, because if crypto is going into the future, I shouldn't be able to think that in 1,000 days, there's not going to be a new person that needs to learn the staking function. So that's kind of how I got to that, was when I started to expand how I can get my family and friends involved. So that's dope. You're on the same wavelength, man.
Quick shout out to Amr Shahan for the $10 super chat. Joker, you've been surprisingly quiet today. I was expecting...
Hey man, I've been just letting everybody talk.
Well, I mean, I'm learning so much over here. That's the whole idea,
it's a lot of information, and I'm a marketing guy, right? So a lot of the strategies or whatnot. I mean, I like to keep my strategy kind of under wraps, because a lot of people tend to like to dive into my stuff. But in terms of just community building, that's kind of my field.
Gotcha. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours, about 12 minutes away. I think we should take a kind of a rapid fire approach here, and let's pepper Jack with some questions on the way out the door. I know we all have families, got to get to them, stuff like that. Let's do a little round robin. We'll start with you, Joker, unless you want me to start with Xen Su. I mean, I kind of just randomly picked you there.
No, I'll ask something that's not technical, not I guess purely Zen related, but in terms of community, Jack, how do you see the growth of this community? Do you see it going in the right direction? Do you see anything that you want changed? Do you want us to continue doing what we're doing? Are there any things that you applaud or you frown at?
Well, I'm very happy people coming together. Obviously, it's a big difference from dog eat dog, maxi toxic mentality that we see so much. So I think we should obviously focus on more of that. And I think somebody commented about our Telegram voice chats and groups, and people were saying that Zen community actually welcomes other people who are interested in other projects, and we let them speak. And it's kind of like very, very pro education, and people feel safe to join our community and feel like their interests and their questions are always addressed, no matter what they are. And that's extremely positive. And I think we should obviously continue go the same route, because we're like collecting this gigabrain of good ideas and information and questions, and obviously we want people to build. I mean, this L1 that's coming up, it's really, I want it to be a builder's paradise, that sort of thing.
Appreciate it, Jack. Thank you, man. You're muted.
Popcorn
You're
it.
muted.
It never gets old. We'll try that again. GRC, what are your thoughts? What questions do you have?
If I had a question, probably more of a selfish question. I wanted to ask you about your workload, not like directly about Zen, but how, as far as when you were working when you were in your 20s and 30s, how effective are you, like, per hour workload wise compared to now? Because I went on vacation for a week and I came back, and all the dynamics changed quite a bit. And I was just like, man, these guys are very capable. And I'm just thinking, like, on my feet, capable of doing so much. I've been told I'm capable of doing a lot. And I look at some of you guys and I'm like, my God, I'm in first grade again. I'm in second grade again. I feel like a kindergarten student.
I feel the same.
And I wanted to ask you, how did you evolve that? And were you more effective? Are you more effective at this age, or were you more effective when you were young? And how do you kind of hone your skills to be the most effective human you can be in whatever you're doing?
So there's actually, it's a very good question. And there's two reasons. So 25 years ago, when I first entered the industry, which is basically the internet industry we know today, I didn't really have Elon Musk as a role model, and this guy is just incredible. And I always told myself that if I could even do 5 or 10% of what he's capable of, and he's just the regular human, that would be just so amazing. And that's the motivational aspect. The other motivational aspect that really affects the way I work is talking to guys like yourself and talking to the community and engaging with million other people in a very effective way. So I can learn very, very quickly, and I can just channel this sort of interest and positive energy into something that actually makes it into a product. The other thing, obviously, is that the tools and everything that we develop with have gained so much ease of use. So like Xen Su and I, we were playing with X1, and we went to ChatGPT, and I had Xen Su write his first program by looking at ChatGPT and then deploying it on X1 and actually having it execute. This would have been impossible just a couple of years ago. So having those tools, and Xen Su is not a developer, not a programmer, and all we had to do is ask ChatGPT to write
a Solidity contract.
just a very, very basic smart contract that does like prime numbers and Fibonacci number checks. And then we deployed it very, very quickly on X1, and then we run an execution. We have this amazing explorer that tells us how the contract calls went and what it meant for gas, like all of those things. So the ability to learn is 100 to 500 times better than it was 20 years ago. We just didn't have the tools, right? And now we have AI doing the heavy lifting. Then we would otherwise end up looking online and looking at YouTube videos, trying to understand and replicate the code. We can just talk to ChatGPT, have it generate the code, deploy it, test it, and learn more about it in any language we want, actually. So, like, remember how we talked about Chia? Well, I went to Chia and I'm like, okay, write me a Lisp algorithm that I can deploy in Chia, and it actually also worked. And so I haven't touched Lisp in 30 years, but with ChatGPT, I'm able to actually produce the code that works rapidly without any sort of syntactical overload. So definitely, I feel obviously very lucky to be conscious this year, and I'm lucky that we have a bear market where we can actually build the foundation that can have a very, very solid ground laid for the future bull market.
So basically, I need to talk to more smart people and use more AI technology and just keep expanding my general consciousness, and that's basically it.
I would say that if you had a question to a smart person, you would ask, what tools are you using daily? So that you can actually use the same tools.
Yep.
That's a great one.
The question you were supposed to ask is this.
Right.
CryptoBruhh.
Yeah.
Questions you have for Jack? I can imagine you have a lot.
Oh, yeah. No, well, I played the game, and so like I always said, how I got to the idea that like X1 was that's how I felt like I won the game when I realized that X1 was the ice cream vanilla machine, and I was like, oh yay, I played the whole game, and now I get this token called knowing what X1 can be for myself. But what I really want to get at is after reading the white paper, I never read the Bitcoin white paper. And when I came into crypto, I heard about it like it was like a whisper in the wind. Like everybody was like, but did you read the Bitcoin white paper? Like it's inspirational, blah, blah, blah. So I decided to put it side by side in the stream I did a week ago. And when I look at the Bitcoin white paper, kind of looks like I'm looking at like a fuse box to like move around some fuses if I'm like in a car or whatever. But when I look at the Xen white paper, it looks more like an informational packet where if you can really understand how to take each step, you're going to get online. So I wanted to know what, like, how did if it did, but how did the Bitcoin white paper impact the Xen white paper?
Okay, well, Bitcoin was the beginning, the first alpha in the alphabet, the Aleph, like so to speak. And I just figured if you were buying Bitcoin at $1, and even now it's close to, what is it, like almost 24,000, right? All you had to do is understand what this technology is doing and how it's changing the world. And I figured that the strongest tenets has to be in Bitcoin, the strongest. And I figured that if we take the strongest message from the Bitcoin white paper and translate it into Ethereum's ecosystem, then we can't possibly lose. And it makes it an amazing story because you're linking what you're doing today to the origin of crypto, to the origin itself. And it is impossible to resist because we have a history, and then we have, bull market cycle, bear market cycle, changes to Bitcoin, everything that's kind of like, making it more of a like a barge that's moving very, very slowly. But if we add a little spice to it and add a little bit of humanity, which is the proof of participation, then we can amplify these basic tenets that are so valuable. So that was the origin for the white paper.
Wow, sick.
Was that the answer you hoped for?
Yeah, man. Because in my opinion, it's shareable, and it sounds like it could be the like I said, the whisper in the wind. I'm telling people, and they're not reading it. And then eventually they see me spamming like, yo, check this out, check this out, check this out. And then they hit me back, hey, I opened the PDF. So I feel like it's like a message, or, like, because that's how when I came in on, becoming your own bank and the first principles of self-custody, and being able to own the assets in which you've made, right, with your own energy, turning your dollars into energy that you own. And that's like really close to me in my decentralized atmosphere. So the white paper, had to bring it to the front. And reading the Xen white paper, it's like butter. Like, oh, you do this, you do that, this and that, and so and so. So just wanted to see where did it root from. So
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
That's
Thanks.
really cool. Crypto Profeta, what do you got?
So I have one question and a follow-up suggestion to that question. And the first one is, will Next be deployed only on the Ether network and all the different type of network or it will be deployed on the X1 network?
So we want Next to be everywhere, because everybody should have a choice to converge onto Next. So obviously the same immutable tokenomics existing on all chains and giving people upside on every chain. Like Phantom has minted like a couple of trillion Xen, or more like 10 trillion Xen actually. And so it would be great to give Phantom guys the yang. So if Xen is the yin, then the yang is Next. And so we want every chain to have Next, because we feel like it actually improved participation. And obviously we want Xen to be valuable across all chains. And for that, it needs to have the ideal consumer, or basically consumer, something that can channel all of that excitement into something that has a capped liquid supply. In terms of moving Next to X1, definitely we want it to be there. So we're working on the proper translation mechanism between chains. So we want now Xen itself will not be on X1, but the Next, which is the yin or the yang, which is the derivative of Xen, should be portable between the chains.
Okay. So the follow up of that question is like more like a suggestion, because I ran consensus in the Latin American community, and I found a problem. And the main problem is a lot of the people cannot afford like a Zoom unicorn, a unicorn, right?
Unicorn.
Or those type of from limit down, they cannot, from not even from the limit down, from the other type of NFTs, they are not able to participate in it. So I came up with an idea, and it was like build like a fork Maximus, so to give them an opportunity, right? Because a lot of them have been minting for more than 150 days, and they have different type of wallets already up, and those wallet compound to be more than 50 million, right? So I was like, okay, if we can build a pool that can hold like approximately 100 people with 50 million token, right? It will help them to participate with one NFT and be part of receiving a fraction of that NFT. I don't know how you guys gonna chop up that NFT, but but they will be having that fraction of the Next, because I know a lot of people will not be able to go into the market because their loan is very low. So for example, I have a lot of people that will be like, but I cannot even afford to pay the transaction fee, right? Even though I'm giving it out stuff and helping people, but of course my bucks, my pants, my part of my money will be running out, because I'm giving out to help people, because I know this project is going to be big, right? So is it possible to build a pool where 100 people can stake their 50 million Xen, so they can get a piece, a fraction of that NFT that can enable them to have a portion of the Next token?
I think it's possible. There's actually two answers. So fractional pools already exist in forms on 10 different chains. So for example, Polygon costs you 5 cents to mint. So we're not going to be adjusting Zunicorn's burn cost. It's still going to be the same, whatever it is on Ethereum. So 10 billion Xen on Polygon is a fraction in terms of dollars spent on mints, because on Polygon you mint 5 cents per wallet. On Ethereum you mint $5 per wallet. So 100 times cheaper on Polygon to get your Xen, but the Zunicorn costs the same 10 billion, which actually makes you almost having like a fraction of the Ethereum Zunicorn. So think about it. I can have 1/100th fraction of a Zunicorn in the form of a Zunicorn on Polygon that can be translatable between chains. So that's in effect is a share that you own in your own wallet, except everybody knows it's a Polygon version. It's about 100 times less expensive to get. So that's how like I would see that. So the protocols like that kind of already exist, where Phantom, BSC a little bit more expensive, for Polygon for sure, Ethereum proof of work. We'll get all of the products we launched on Ethereum, and they're coming like within the next 10 days.
Okay, that's it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's actually somebody that's big on the Xen network that says he already put a meme out saying, will Xen Zunicorn holders be able to hang out with Ethereum Zunicorn holders? It's actually a pretty funny meme.
Of course, of course.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Zensu, I don't know if you have any questions, because I think you're kind of part of the development team. I don't know. You seem to know a lot here, but maybe ask a question. Yeah, seem to know a lot. Right. Maybe ask a question that you know could benefit the community, unless of course you have an honest question that you're curious about. But what do you got?
What are you guys most excited about? Jack, what are you most excited about this upcoming year? We're doing a lot of different stuff.
The decks.
What I know you're like you're excited about a lot of things.
I am truly most excited about builders outside of our team, because this is where the true power is. I mean, it seems to the world that we're moving at lightning speed ourselves, but there's only so many of us. But all of us together as builders, like imagine thousands of builders coming in to building something amazing. That is the most exciting thing, because that is where you can actually see that if Xen was the first mover, but it brought in so much benefit and amazing technologies, things that we haven't even thought of could be possible with new builders coming in. So number one thing that I'm excited about is builders, and of course the community growing, because I want 100 million people in this community.
Let's
right.
go.
So a lot of the things we're doing now is creating the infrastructure and the possibilities for builders to come in, and that's something I'm really proud of this community. How it's been shaped to attract so many amazing people like all of you guys and all of the Xenians with such good positivity and creativity and ideas, and the willing to help and be open and respectful and all of that. So thank you all, everyone, for helping to create this amazing community.
Amazing. I'm excited about exactly what you're looking at here, just the community itself that's being developed. We've got, 7 people in here having an open conversation. All of us are here for the sake of learning and bringing education to others in crypto. I mean, the idea behind Xen was to get fair crypto in the hands of the masses. And now you've got a team of people behind you that are looking to do just that and help with it. So the explosive growth that we're seeing is something I'm excited about, and the continued adoption, as well as the building. Like you said, Crypto Prophet is talking about a DEX. We've got Phoenix coming out. We've got Next coming out. I've had a bunch of people send me information about projects they're looking at building, all with the idea behind burning Xen. You got X1. I mean, I just feel like it's the right place to be at the right time. And that's what's exciting.
I would like to see
we were
some
talking
big
we were
names.
talking like internally about how to, because a lot of people have ideas and they want to present their ideas to the community and get feedback on them. And of course, that's how we did with Xen, right? We built the community like instantly right away to iterate the protocol way before we launched, to build up a hive mind and to use that. So we were thinking about different ways how we could make a platform for that to happen. So we could expose all of these ideas to the community somehow on some kind of platform. So let that marinate and let that be a seed for you guys if you have any great ideas how we could do that as well.
Jack, do you want me to share this?
Yeah, just before we go, I wanted you guys to see this. This stuff is amazing. So this is one of the nodes on the blockchain on L1. And you can see here, it's only been up for 2 days. And right now, the CPU load is 42% and system load is 30%. So a lot of people comment, hey, stop showing off. A fast chain is fast only when there's no users. What we're seeing here are organic users, Xenians, coming in to the chain and actually running mints right at this point. So all of those, like, this is disk writes and disk reads. Super exciting stuff to see it in action. And you can imagine, like, the chain is definitely loaded pretty hot right now, 40%, 42% CPU. And this isn't our load test. This is our community using this chain, which is just incredible. And there's only 4 nodes right now, and it's running pretty fast. There's like all of those data analytics that are coming in, which is invaluable to know exactly how to change or adjust your blockchain. So there's 4 nodes. You can see 4 validators. They're actually not validators. They're block producers. We're producing a block every second. So I can switch to a different node and the numbers will change. So you can see this one is 17%. And this one is 61% because it's doing something. And here's the other thing real quick. So I'm going to change this to, let's say, 24 hours. And then I'm going to scroll down to disk space usage. So you can see this chart is actually moving up and to the right. So we have, we're approaching 8 gigabytes per node in terms of activity. So 8 gigabytes is a lot of data, because think about it. Crypto is really just text data. There's nothing really heavy. There's no images. It's just financial information. And we have now collected almost 8 gigabytes per node right here. So and you can see it. You can see it's moving higher. So super exciting stuff. I am giggling like a little girl, you know, like when I was at Google, you know, I got to play with the tech like this. So my guys have you know, set this up so that we can actually manage and see exactly what's happening with our nodes.
So Jack, can
yeah.
we see in the future that memory space going up, like for Ethereum, 1 terabyte or something like that?
Memory space, you mean disk space?
Yeah, the memory space. Yeah, memory space.
Yeah, potentially, because I mean, right now it's only been 24 hours and we already have produced almost 8 gigabytes. 8 gigabytes. Now we're in the cloud. We're on Amazon, and so we can scale the disk space to whatever we want. We actually can attach disks that are growing, and obviously Amazon has a lot of storage. So being in the cloud on Amazon, but we can also do something like this. Not only we can run on Amazon into different regions, like we can have West Coast, Central Coast, East Coast. We can also add Google Cloud for security reasons and being more spread out, and tap into their cloud system as well. So the blockchain isn't like really running, wouldn't be running in a silo in a particular cloud provider, but it would be in a couple of large ones. And then, of course, in the future, when we bring in the validators that will bring in their own hardware, we'll be able to spread the load even further out.
So that means that we also can I like say, if I want to run a node, is it possible? Do I have to use the Amazon space?
No.
Or
It can
I
run
can just run my
it
own.
Can run in your basement. It doesn't matter. Internet touches everyone.
Okay.
So
So how can you guys provide me with the info so I can just like make a tutorial on how to run a node?
It's too early. It's only been up for a couple of days.
Damn it.
We're waiting for it.
I want to be the
I want to
first.
be the first. Nice. All right, Jack, I got one last question for you. When I've noticed a little bit of a trend every time I've asked about future value of Xen, you always give the use case example. What if, Elon says that Xen can be used to buy a car, but you always start that example with, what if Amazon used Xen? I've looked back over 3 or 4 different streams with you, and you always go to what if Amazon used Xen. So I want to share a little screen. We were supposed to talk about this earlier, but we got so busy with all the questions and everything else that it went by the wayside. But new article came out recently about Amazon's new venture in the digital assets for NFTs and crypto games. And it says they're partnering up with layer 1 blockchains. So I'm wondering if your answers were like foreshadowing. So my question is, when Amazon, sir?
Soon.
Soon.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
oh, Mo!
What?
Not a financial advice.
Not a financial advice, of course. Okay, I did not expect that answer.
Oh.
I don't even know how to
Clip it,
respond
chat.
to this.
Clip it, send it everywhere. Put me in
Flip it, and yeah, definitely
God.
financial advice. No,
I'm minting more today. Holy moly. Okay. All right.
Well, you see that coming?
One thing that I wanted to mention that is actually, I feel like, very important and haven't been explored. So L1 X1 will run as an American registered company, which gives its ability to make partnerships with everyone. So in other words, it's not going to be a fly-by-night operation from Bahamas. You know how that turned out. It's going to be an American company. It is already registered. Any sort of angels that are coming in are bringing legitimacy, especially if those angels are coming from, for example, former Googlers or people that I know from the last 30 years. And obviously having something that's secured by the fact that there is a financial recourse to the investors, it actually translates into this being a safer, better partner to deal with than anyone else out there. So if Amazon, for example, chooses to partner with us, the first due diligence they're going to do is they're going to say, does the founder have a name? Do they have a face? Are they a registered American company? Are they lawfully raising money? Or are they doing you know what people do. So we're trying to amplify and to merge the current aspects of the capitalism that actually do work. And we want to connect the Xenians and the Xen's community to the outcome of everything that will happen within the next 2 to 3 years.
Wow, Chad is on fire right now. By the way.
Oh yeah, that's not a Joker green candle. That's a Jack green candle.
Wait, when does crypto get? When does kindness get to get a green candle out of that?
All right, that's a kindness green candle. Let's go together with Jack though, because Jack, you just said it was Amazon.
Yeah. Said Amazon. So I mean, are you guys? Maybe you can't answer this yet, but have you been talking to, or do you know the right routes and people to get in there and actually start having these conversations?
I know people that work at Amazon.
God.
Well, my aunt works in the warehouse.
Other janitors.
Yeah.
Other janitors.
Let's be more specific.
We're all part of the janitor union.
Do you know Bezos' workout plan?
Oh my God.
I do. And just to give you a little bit more background, the ImageHack.com and Inventify.com, my companies, were running on Amazon for a very long time, and we have a relationship with Amazon. We have helped migrate Nordstrom.com to Amazon and to run all of the product images on Nordstrom.com as an Amazon technology. So we know all of those people who were making decisions on the Nordstrom side, obviously, because they were just a customer, but Amazon was a technology provider. And so we have relationship on the tech side with Amazon people.
Where the fudders at right now? Where the haters at?
We need some good FUD.
We need
Just
some
wait.
fun.
Just wait.
Let me go
They're
meet-
coming.
They're coming.
Just wait. Yeah.
There's one.
Yeah, actually, I want to say that you want to have at least 20% of FUD because it keeps you in check.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
It's necessary. The FUD is necessary. The FUD helps spread the word around. People need to understand that. So we need more fodder so they can spread the word around, so people can be like, okay, what is this? Why are people talking about it? So let's go in and check it. So the FUD has been helping a lot, guys. So keep on keep the FUD up. Like Andrew Tate say, you have to speak some stuff so people can interact with it. So it's helping.
Ready for you.
And I've always said this about Jack, and it's one of the reasons why I'm so impressed with him is the fact that he has that track record. You know, it's a no-brainer to follow people who, you know, are habitually successful, right? That they're always, you know, they're developing cool stuff, they're being innovators, and they have that mind of saying, all right, well, I'm going to build this to support that, and I'm going to build that to support this. I mean, Jack said it before, you know, he has this big whiteboard that looks like a whole, like, you know, like everything's connected, kind of like in you know, one of those movies where you see like all these spider graphs and whatnot.
X-Files.
Yeah.
X-Files, yeah. So I mean that alone, if you see the work ethic, I mean that should tell the tale for you. So, you know, follow the smart ones, follow the ones that have been successful in what they do and what they've done in the past. They're gonna have connections because, as you just heard, I mean, you know, it's not small what Jack's doing. So you guys are early, man. Congratulations, really.
Yeah.
Jack, I have a last question, please. Can I ask you the last question?
Yeah.
Is software hard?
Oh my God!
Oh,
Look at GRC's face. Like, oh, well, now here comes the fun.
The true answer is it's hard for some people.
Huh?
Not for Jack.
I mean, but the
Oh,
truth
wow.
of the matter is, if you haven't done software, it's going to be hard. So
That's right. That's true.
Right.
and hard software comes out later.
right.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Yeah.
Right. If you
Yeah.
haven't done software, right?
Yeah.
Eddie Valentino says soon in Jack terms is sooner. I do like that. We'll get the test net out in 2 weeks. Oh, here.
2 more
How about
weeks.
2 more hours? We'll have it for you in 2 hours. That's awesome. All right, guys, I got to get to the family. This has been a ton of fun. I know we could go for another hour, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time. We have held steady at 350 to 375 people with us this entire time. That shows you the excitement level. And they've been engaged and asking questions. And I know there's a lot of questions that we weren't able to get to. I apologize for that. But just know that I am truly appreciative and thankful for everybody being here today. Thank you all for making changes to your schedule to be here. I know some of you coming from church, some of you spending time with family, all this type of stuff. Jack, it's early in your world. Thank you for getting up and spending your morning with us. This has been a lot of fun. I had expectations for this stream and it blew them all out of the water. And I owe it all to you guys. Thank you for being here.
Can we show our stuff?
Shill our stuff. What are we shilling? Zen?
Our socials, man.
No.
I didn't curse. I don't think once.
Kick.com/the_joker, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody knows-
GRC. Show your
go ahead.
socials.
Guys, I do a show every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern, Crypto in the Morning, with my co-host Sam Stoll, where we talk about DeFi and we talk about the details. Pretty much, we kind of try to stick to the details. We have a little bit of fun.
Nice.
Biceps in the chat if you're one of my guys. Come on now.
Hey.
We're going to see him. CryptoBruhh.
Yo, you can find me on Twitter, CryptoBruhh with 3 H's, .eth. I am always in the, I'm always there. I'm in the Zen spaces, Chaka and game theory, and kind of onboarding new people into the space just by them falling into our Twitter space. So definitely come in, hang out with us. Like I said, it's a pretty cool group of people on Twitter chatting it up. As well as I do a stream on YouTube on Wednesdays. You can find me streaming mainly about XeNFTs because that's where I am. I'm a big NFT person in general. Yeah, if you want to learn NFTs, follow me, and hopefully my little bit of intelligence can spark a flame in you, so you can understand what we got going on over there.
Nice. Thank you for being here today as well. It's nice to finally get on stream with you. Joker, same to you. Profeta.
So see, guys, follow me on Twitter, CryptoBruhh1. On YouTube channel, I have the CryptoBruhh EN and the CryptoBruhh in Spanish for the Latin American people. And also follow me on Kick. I'm also on Kick, CryptoBruhh.
Hey, let's go.
Follow me on Twitch, CryptoBruhh. Everywhere I'm CryptoBruhh. The only where CryptoBruhh1 is on Twitter. And you can just hit in my link in my bio. You can find all the information and my Substack, guys. Follow my Substack. If you want to learn about crypto, get educated. I have a whole Substack with crypto related stuff we can learn about. So, yes, that's me.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. And Zensu, how about you?
Where to find wherever Jack is. I'm like, have you seen Prison Break? That guy who holds the inside of the pocket of the other guy, and wherever he walks around.
He said he's holding his pocket. Oh
I'm on the Telegram all the time, and then Akkeboom on Twitter.
Also, YouTube Zenducation.
Yeah, Zenducation, where I try to compartmentalize everything we're doing into educational videos.
He's an incredible streamer, and he has my attention all the time when he's streaming. I really do love your streams, Enzo.
Nice.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And this was generous. Someone gave me a super chat for your channel, Crypto in the Morning.
That's my boy Pierre's #1 DGen. Love you, brother, dude.
Pierre, thank you. That's awesome.
Crazy, man.
Thank you for the generosity.
Are we sharing those tips after, or
I don't know how that works. I don't even know where they show up, to be honest.
Is that going back?
Take my shirt off, bro. If we have to go there, I'll go.
I want to get to the point where those tips are in Xen.
Like it even better. YouTube partnership
right there.
YouTube
partnership.
Google and YouTube partnership.
Google.
Have expectations.
Yeah, have
expectations.
That's awesome. Jack, anything? We know where to find you, but do you have anything you'd like us to know?
You already know everything, guys. Twitter at MrJackLevin.com. I just posted a bunch of X1 stats, so you can take a look at the stats. Anybody tells you it's a ghost chain, well, it looks like a very busy chain right now. So.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. We should do this again. Whoever wants to host next time on their channel, let's start putting together the next one.
Word.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful Sunday afternoon, evening, or Monday morning, wherever you are. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
This is like a Tupperware club. We go to each house and exchange food.
We never have to leave the house.